Hello. Can belief in God be supported by reason, or is it purely a matter of faith? More than 700 years ago, St. Thomas Aquinas addressed this question in his Summa Theologica. In question 2, he asks, is God's existence self-evident? Can God's existence be demonstrated? Does God exist? Today we'll explore Aquinas' answers and his famous 5 ways. Some thinkers believed God's existence is obvious. If God is the greatest possible being, shouldn't his existence be self-evident? Aquinas disagrees. He explains that something can be self-evident in itself, but not self-evident to us. God's existence may be self-evident because God is pure being, but human beings do not directly know God's essence. Since we cannot see God's nature directly, God's existence is not evident to human understanding. Therefore, we must reason our way toward it. If God's existence is not self-evident, can it be demonstrated? Aquinas answers yes. Although we cannot know God directly, we can know him through his effects. Just as we cannot see the wind, but recognize it by what it does, we can observe features of the world and reason toward their ultimate source. For Aquinas, faith and reason are not enemies. They work together. Before presenting his arguments, Aquinas considers 2 objections. First, if God is all good and all powerful, why does evil exist? Second, if natural causes explain the world, why appeal to God at all? Aquinas argues that God can permit evil while bringing greater good from it. He also maintains that natural causes themselves require an ultimate explanation. These questions lead to his famous 5 ways. The 5 ways begin with observations about the world and ask what ultimately explains them. The first way, motion. Things move, and whatever is moved by something else. Aquinas argues that this chain cannot continue indefinitely. There must be an unmoved mover that initiates motion without being moved. This is God. The second way, efficient cause. Everything we observe has a cause. If every cause depends on a prior cause, there must ultimately be a first cause that is itself uncaused. This is God. The third way is contingency. Many things exist but could fail to exist. They come into being and pass away. If everything were contingent, then at some point nothing would have existed. But if nothing ever existed, nothing could exist now. Therefore, there must be a necessary being whose existence depends on nothing else. This is God. The fourth way, degrees of perfection. We describe things as more or less good, true, or noble. Aquinas argues that such comparisons point to a highest standard of perfection. The highest perfection is God. The fifth way, design. Nature displays order and purpose. Natural things regularly act toward specific ends. Aquinas argues that things lacking intelligence cannot consistently achieve goals unless guided by an intelligent source. This points to an intelligent designer. That designer is God. Aquinas' 5 ways continue to influence philosophy and theology today. Critics question whether infinite chains are impossible, whether a first cause must be God, and whether apparent design can arise naturally. Yet Aquinas remains influential because he sought to show that belief in God can be examined through reason as well as faith. The key insight of question 2 is not simply that Aquinas believes God exists, but how he approaches the question. He takes objections seriously, engages critics respectfully, and uses reason to explore theological truths. For Aquinas, God's existence is not self-evident to us. It can be approached, though, through reason. Faith and reason, he says, are compatible, and difficult questions deserve careful thought. Whether you agree with Aquinas or not, his method teaches an enduring lesson. Serious questions deserve serious thinking. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this exploration of Thomas Aquinas and the Summa Theologica, please like, comment, and share. And please subscribe so you are notified when our next episode on question 3, the simplicity of God, is released. And as always, grace and peace to you from the letters of Paul to the Philippines.